When you fall asleep, your cat doesn't just wander off into the dark. In fact, for many cats, the moment their owner closes their eyes is when something quiet and surprisingly emotional begins. Most people assume their cat loses interest the second they stop moving. But that's not what's happening at all. In those first few minutes after you drift off, your cat may be doing something that reveals how they truly see you, not just as the person who feeds them, but as something much more important. And if you've never paid attention to what your cat does while you sleep, you might be missing one of the clearest signs of trust and attachment they can show. Let's start with something most people never think about. When you fall asleep, you become vulnerable, you stop talking, you stop moving, your eyes close, your breathing slows. From your cat's perspective, something significant just changed in the room. And here's what makes this interesting. Cats are predators, but they're also prey. In the wild, a cat that lets its guard down at the wrong moment doesn't survive. So when your cat chooses to stay near you while you sleep, when they choose to remain in the same space as a large unconscious creature, that choice means something. It means they feel safe. And more than that, it means they feel safe because of you. Your presence, even your sleeping presence, is something your cat registers as protection. Not because you're doing anything, simply because you're there. This is the first thing your cat thinks when you fall asleep. The space is now quieter, and in that quiet they feel anchored to you. Now let's talk about what many cat owners have noticed but never fully understood. Some cats watch their owners sleep. Not occasionally, regularly. They sit at the edge of the bed, or near the pillow, or sometimes on the opposite side of the room, and they watch. Still, silent, eyes steady. Most owners find this a little strange. Some find it unsettling. There's even a joke about it. Cats staring at you like they're planning something. But what's actually happening is the opposite of threatening. When your cat watches you sleep, they are monitoring you. Not in a cold or calculating way, in the way that attachment works, in the way that care looks when it has no language. Research in feline behavior has found that cats develop what's called a social bond with their primary caregiver, a bond that includes proximity seeking, distress at separation, and comfort at reunion. These are the same markers used to measure emotional attachment in human infants. So when your cat sits and watches you sleep, they are doing what attached creatures do. They are staying close to the one they feel bonded to. They're keeping an eye on you because to them, you matter. This isn't random. This is loyalty expressed in the only way a cat knows how. Let's go a little deeper. Your cat has a highly developed sensory system. Their hearing is roughly 4 times more sensitive than yours. They can detect changes in your breathing, shifts in your body temperature, and even subtle changes in your scent that occur when you move from light sleep to deep sleep. This means that when you sleep, your cat is not just watching. They are listening, they are tracking, they are aware of you in a way that you will never be aware of them. And what do they do with that information? In many cases, nothing. They simply stay. They monitor. They remain present. But there's something else that happens with some cats. Something that gets even closer to what's going on emotionally. Some cats begin to relax only after their owner falls asleep. If you've ever noticed that your cat seems more settled, more calm, more at ease in the late hours of the night, this may be why. Your sleep is a signal to them. It tells them the day is over. It tells them the environment is stable. It tells them that the most important figure in their world is safe and still. And in that stillness, they finally let themselves rest too. Think about what that means. Your cat's sense of safety is partly tied to yours. They are not just tolerating your presence. They are regulating around you. Your rest becomes their rest. Your calm becomes their calm. This is not a small thing. This is what emotional attunement looks like between 2 different species. Now let's talk about where your cat chooses to sleep, because it tells you more than you might expect. If your cat sleeps at your feet, that position is not random. Cats who sleep at their owner's feet are often cats with strong protective instincts. They are placing themselves between you and the rest of the room. They are not cuddling, they are guarding. If your cat sleeps near your head or on your pillow, that signals something different. That level of closeness, that willingness to be that near your face, your breath, your most vulnerable point, reflects an extremely high level of trust. Your cat is choosing the most intimate physical proximity they can offer. If your cat sleeps somewhere in the room but not on the bed, that doesn't mean they feel less attached. For some cats, being in the same space is enough. They don't need physical contact to feel connected. They just need to be near you. And if your cat sleeps with their back to you, that is one of the deepest signs of trust there is. A cat that turns its back to you while sleeping is saying something very clear. They are not worried about you. They are not watching for threats from your direction. They trust you completely. Each of these positions is a form of communication, a language without words, and once you understand it, you start to see your cat very differently. Let's talk about something that often gets overlooked. Your cat notices when something is different. If you fall asleep at an unusual time, on the couch in the middle of the afternoon or earlier than usual because you're unwell, your cat often responds differently than they would on a normal night. Many cat owners have reported that when they were sick and sleeping more than usual, their cat stayed closer, slept on the bed when they normally wouldn't, became quieter, calmer, more present. This is not coincidence. Cats are sensitive to changes in their owner's behavior, scent, and energy. When you are unwell, your body chemistry shifts, your movement patterns change, your usual routines are disrupted. Your cat notices all of this. And for many cats, the response to sensing that their owner is not quite right is to get closer, to stay near, to remain. Some researchers believe this reflects a form of emotional attunement, an ability to sense distress in others and respond to it with proximity. It's not the same as human empathy, but it's not nothing either. When your cat stays with you while you sleep through an illness, they are responding to you. They are present in a way that is specific to you, and that matters. There's one more behavior worth mentioning before we reach the part most owners find surprising. Some cats begin to purr specifically in that transition moment when their owner falls asleep. Not before, not during the bedtime routine, but right as your breathing slows and your body stills. Purring is often misunderstood. People assume cats purr because they're happy, but purring is more layered than that. Cats also purr when anxious, when self-soothing, when trying to regulate. The frequency range of a cat's purr has even been linked to physical calming effects. When your cat purrs as you fall asleep, they may be settling themselves, responding to the calm they sense in you, and creating an environment that feels safe to both of you at once. If you've ever fallen asleep to that sound, you already understand it in a way that doesn't need explaining. Here's the part that many cat owners find most surprising. Your cat may miss you while you sleep. Not in the way they miss you when you leave the house, but in a quieter way. During the day, you interact, you move, you talk. Your presence is dynamic, a living, active part of their environment. When you sleep, that presence goes quiet. What remains is a warm, breathing shape, recognizable but unreachable. For cats with strong attachment, this shift can trigger a kind of quiet restlessness. They may sit closer than usual, wake you earlier than you'd like. Not because they're hungry, because they noticed you were gone, in the only way sleep can take someone away. This is why some cats wake their owners in the early morning hours, not out of selfishness, out of something closer to missing you. And finally this. Every night that your cat chooses to stay near you while you sleep, they are making a choice. Cats are not obligate companions. They don't need to be near you to survive. They don't stay because they have no other option. They stay because something in them wants to. That want, that quiet, consistent choice to remain close while you are at your most vulnerable, is one of the most honest things your cat will ever show you. It doesn't come with words. It doesn't come with obvious gestures. It comes in the form of a warm weight at the foot of your bed, or a pair of eyes watching over you in the dark, or the soft sound of purring that begins right around the time your breathing slows. That is trust. That is attachment. That is your cat telling you, in the only language they have, that you are safe, that you are chosen, that to them you are home. If this changed the way you see your cat, subscribe. We explore cat behavior, attachment, and the hidden emotional lives of cats, one video at a time.